The Objective News Network, the mortgage fraud scheme in New Jersey. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's broadcast for Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. Thanks for joining us today. Well, on Monday, we broke the story of a major mortgage fraud RICO enterprise of corrupt judges, judicial employees, lawyers, and other officials who are engaged in a huge mortgage fraud scheme in New Jersey. We wanted to get back with our viewers in New Jersey and in other states across the country to tell you specifically how the mortgage fraud scam works so that you can protect yourself against predatory banks. This is Nick Purpura, who lives in Wall, New Jersey, who first reported the mortgage fraud scam when his bank failed. Right now, Nick Purpura is in the fight of his life to prevent one of the largest mortgage lenders in the United States, this organization, J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, from taking away his home. In the 2008 Great Recession, the nation was facing the housing loan crisis. Well, ill-conceived government policies, gross mismanagement, and egregious government banking oversight failures led to the collapse of Washington Mutual Bank, or WAMU, in the largest single bank collapse in all of U.S. history. During those hard economic times, when the banks that held Nick's mortgage, WAMU in this case, collapsed, Nick, along with thousands of other Americans, missed their mortgage payments and became the victims of perhaps one of the largest mortgage fraud scams in all of U.S. history. Well, we wanted to tell you exactly how the mortgage fraud RICO scam really works, so that you can see the warning signs early enough to recognize them for what they really are and to take actions to protect yourself. The first step is for a big financial enterprise to buy WAMU's mortgage notes at less than pennies on the dollar to a big bank with plenty of money. In Nick's case, his mortgage note was sold to J.P. Morgan Chase for less than 1/6 cent on the dollar. That's right, 1/6 cent on the dollar. Then you get a telephone call or letter from the bank telling you that your mortgage note has just been sold to them and that in order for you to keep your home, you must now renegotiate the terms and conditions of your old mortgage. You are told that economic times have changed and you must now pay more each month to cover your new mortgage. Now, of course, the banks know exactly what your income actually is, and they've already had their risk assessors tell them the point at which you are financially extended where you will not be able to pay your mortgage in the long run given the current and anticipated future state of the economy, including the housing market. To the bank, you become a very good target for foreclosure based on speculation. Just suppose that economic times stay the same or get worse, and you can no longer make your mortgage payments. The bank's goal is to foreclose on your house and then turn around and sell your mortgage note, or your old home for that matter, for a huge profit to someone else. Remember, they're buying mortgage notes at, that's right, less than 1/6 cent on the dollar. You can imagine that the dollar volumes we're talking about here reach billions and billions and billions of dollars for an organization like J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. The banks especially like to target younger and elderly homeowners to raise the victims' payments up to or just beyond their ability to pay, and then just lie in wait for them to default on their monthly payments. This works especially well in the cases of the elderly who are living on fixed incomes. You see, large banks treat the purchase of mortgage notes, renegotiation of higher interest rates, and mortgage payments and resulting foreclosures as nothing but a business routine. They don't care about you or the amounts of money you have already paid in a down payment or past mortgage payments. You see, banks like J.P. Morgan Chase have large volumes of cash, billions of dollars, that can serve as patient capital to invest in this type of sophisticated consumer price gouging. In other words, with large volumes of cash, they are able to ride out the bad times while you as a homeowner cannot. This allows the banks to buy mortgage notes and sell them, or your house itself, that they paid, in many cases, less than pennies on the dollar for, and then resell them to make huge profits later as economic conditions and the housing market changes. In the Purpura example, J.P. Morgan Chase Bank was what they call a complete stranger to the debt. That is, they never got any paperwork from WAMU legally proving that they actually owned Nick's house. And then, after the fact, they attempted to contrive ownership by using fraud and deceit, including forgery of ownership documents, and hiring large and expensive law firms to do their dirty work of handling the actual foreclosures. Meanwhile, corrupted judges and lawyers worked together to suppress the evidence that J.P. Morgan Chase Bank really never owned the property in the first place. But the most dangerous part of the scam is the close, illicit relationship between judges and lawyers as they churn foreclosure cases for the big banks to get their own piece of the huge, illicit mortgage fraud pie. To add insult to injury, J.P. Morgan Chase proceeded to take nearly $200,000 in new mortgage payments from Nick Purpura, knowing full well that they didn't really own Nick's house in the first place. In our next story, we will tell you more about the actions of specific state of New Jersey and federal judges, judicial and state of New Jersey employees, and yes, lawyers, as they all work together to pull off their mortgage fraud scam. We'll also tell you about this recent letter contained in the National Investigative Library of Evidence, or NILE, at the Nonprofit Institute for Complexity Management, that's dedicated to helping victims like Nick on a pro bono basis. This letter, sent directly to Chief Justice Renee Bum from ICM of the Federal District Court of New Jersey, reports the existence of the mortgage fraud RICO enterprise in New Jersey and informs the court, the Federal District Court, that ICM has requested a criminal investigation by Attorney General of New Jersey, Mike Platkin, to break up the enterprise. It is what it is for July 12, 2023. This is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. Thank you all for watching, and please help us to get the word out to your friends, your relatives, especially the elderly, about the ongoing mortgage fraud scheme in New Jersey. Thanks, and we'll see you the next time.